Hey, how's it going, Multi-News? Acc 28Jan January 2022. Looking front page as always. First up, New York Times. Kurdish special forces hunting for ISIS fighters in Syria. On the right, economy line go up. Down here, story about school children during the pandemic. Since 2 years ago, 120 million children around the world have had their education basically cease. Very big statistic, very big problem. Wall Street Journal, this guy retiring, economy line go up. Apple earnings line go up. $34 billion Q4 last year. No mention of how much tax they paid on it, if any. New York Post. New York stands with the NYPD today. There was a cop being buried. Jason Rivera, rest in peace. Thank you for your service, mate. I guess one of two cops shot there earlier in the week last week. Underneath that, digging into Joe Biden letting immigrants into the country. Apparently, Nash Post Canada, Ukraine vax mandates, Toronto Sun hauled away. We've got a great big convoy, and this is the Freedom Convoy 2022, heading for a town near you, maybe. They're on their way to Ottawa to run over Justin Trudeau in protest at the vaccine mandates for truckers. 90% of the truckers are vaccinated, which I guess is simultaneously an argument for and against vaccine mandates. Grandma from Cuba still celebrating the life and times of Jose Julian Marti Perez, apostle of Cuban independence. Salute, thank you for your service. Down the bottom, quote from Fidel: those who ignore history are the only ones who can ignore what a people's revolution is. Yes, thank you, Fidel. South Africa, interest rates line go up, corruption. Jerusalem Post banging on about Iran as always. The Hindu Central Asia Meat Forms Afghan group. There's Modi talking to all the stands like Papa Z was the other day. Over on the right, Corona line is flattening apparently. The Australian football, tennis, Global Times from China. There's the Olympic Village open up. Very nice display of flags. Good to see the UN flag front and centre. China's become high income country. Yeah, let's go. Irish Examiner. Fishermen hail buffer zone understanding with the Russians. Picture there is of a protest. Stop the war against Ukraine. Looks entirely astroturf, but whatever. So the Russians doing a live fire exercise next week off the coast of Ireland, and the fishermen said, we're not happy with that. That's our workplace. You can't be there. We're going to protest. And they'd have come to an agreement where they said, we're going to put a buffer zone between our warships, the Russians said, and the fishermen. So all well and good. Seems fairly straightforward so far. But the fishermen came out and said that this represents peace in our time. Which is a massive overstatement, obviously, and a very strange thing to say. I've thought this whole thing was a psyop from the start, and I think that's just further proof of it. Irish Times, baby gorilla born in Belfast Zoo. Congratulations, Mammy and Daddy. Mention of Russia, Ukraine over there. Down here, Micheál Martin says UK plans to block Troubles prosecutions not on. Very Irish turn of phrase. Coming up to the 50th anniversary now of Bloody Sunday, on Sunday, 30th of January 1972, when the paratroopers shot 26 unarmed Catholic civilians, murdered 14 of them. Boris Johnson wants to draw a line under any of these murders that happened during the Troubles and say no one can be prosecuted. So Micheál Martin saying he's not happy about that, but no mention of what he would actually do about it if and probably when it gets passed. Irish Daily Mail, price of petrol going up, livestock crap. Irish Sun, celebs. Down here they're axing a really popular children's show, The Den, and they don't know why. You might remember we sent this puppet on the right hand side of the Eurovision one year. They were genuinely good times. I want those times back. Belfast Telegraph, Liz Truss there in the front. The Unionists in Northern Ireland are trying to collapse the government over the checks on the goods coming from Great Britain, so yet another long tail effect of Brexit which has never been resolved. The Herald from Scotland, something a bit of bin lorry crash, true crime. Financial Times, here's some kids in the Ukraine being shown what explosives look like in case they find them in the street. Over on the right, new Omicron variant just dropped, a sub-variant, BA2, which shows signs of being even more contagious than Omicron 1, yes. Just like Rambo 2, the films keep getting better as you go on. Guardian, Treasury alarms, Prime Minister refused to curb national insurance rise. So they wanted to increase the tax, much like how Margaret Thatcher brought in the poll tax, which was a flat tax on everyone at the time, and that also led to her being destabilised and getting put out of office. They want to bring in this national insurance rise now, which is supposed to pay for social care, etc., etc. It's supposed to raise something like £12 billion, but now they're delaying on it because Boris is in very hot water. Down here they figured out who the first black Olympian was for Britain. This guy called Louis Bruce was a wrestler in 1906. Over here, 1 in 2 30-year-old women now child-free. Strange thing there, no mention of the men who are child-free. The Times, Johnson may delay national insurance rise. There's Donald Trump in a video where he basically said he's going to run 2024, more or less. Video looks like it was shot in a Nokia 3210. He's obviously experiencing hard times at the moment. Russia down the bottom. The Independent, 4 stories on top. Migration, Boris, COVID, football. Soldier shot dead in Nervi, Ukraine. Some lad went Rambo mode and he shot 5 of his mates. A lot of people saying he was a Russian sleeper agent, so very quite possibly true, but who knows, he's probably being tortured now as we speak, so RIP, I guess. Underneath, Liz Truss being criticised, spent £500,000 on a private jet to Australia. That's pretty crazy. Flew all the way there in the government Airbus A321 and actually got flown all around Australia and then back home again. 500 tonnes of CO2 well spent. Daily Torygraph, get ready for a Tory civil war. I'm always ready for it. Work from home tax loophole to be closed. Wasn't really a tax loophole, just something you could claim, and it was only £125 a year. So if you worked from home one day, you could get this money to compensate you for your electricity and your gas. It's not a whole lot of money. If you worked at home for a whole year, it wouldn't go anywhere near covering your costs. But 5 million people claimed it, and so that's £500 million. The government said this is no bueno, we can't afford that, so get in the sea. Down here, number of crimes being solved hits record low of 6%. Yeah, not really surprising. Simultaneously, an argument for increasing and decreasing the police force. Daily Mirror, some ad for holidays. Mention of our boy Prince Andrew down there again, of course, still in an ongoing court case regarding allegations he raped an underage girl, trafficked Jeffrey Epstein, people have been influenced here, did knock himself, RIP, Daily Mail, lifestyle crap, civil servants being overpaid. There's a couple of royals also related to Prince Andrew as well. Kate's taken over as the patron saint of English Rugby Union or some crap like that. Daily Express, that comedian who died. Boris allies don't repeat Thatcher betrayal. Apparently Boris's ministers have been forwarding around a front cover of the Daily Express from when Thatcher got ousted, which is this one from Friday, November 23rd, 1990. There she is, Maggie, rest in pieces. Thank you for your service. What have they done? So it's basically digging into the Tories for turning the knife onto Maggie and trying to say that this was bad for the Tory party. I don't really get it. It was just bad for Margaret Thatcher. It wasn't bad for the Tories because they went on to rule Britain for another 8 years before Tony Blair came to power with the Tory wing of the Labour Party, etc., etc. So Boris, of course, loves comparing himself to Thatcher. He was, of course, Margaret Thatcher's favourite journalist at the time. iNewspaper trying to say here that the cost of living crisis can't be tackled because of what's going on with Boris. So again, trying to provide cover for Boris to say, let's stop focusing on Boris, focus on other stuff. The Metro, some celeb shite, COVID restrictions being lifted, Daily Star, UFOs, something like the Loch Ness Monster, total guff. Well, that's it for the day and the week, thankfully. I noticed today that not just Margaret Thatcher is in the papers, which is a turn up for the books, I guess, but the Ukraine-Russia coverage has kind of dropped off a cliff. Mentioned in a few papers, mentioned here in the Independent, 4 stories, the story about the guy who shot dead a few of his mates, etc. But compared to earlier in the week, it's gone to nothing. So, has everything been averted? Is the crisis over? For now, I guess. Let's see what happens next week. If you want to stay off corporate, social, state media for the weekend, just click the link in the description. Alright, thanks, good luck.